readers. Today, I'm here with political scholar and television personality, Melissa Harris-Perry. Hi, Ms. Harris-Perry. Thank you for your time today.
I am thrilled to be here. Thank you for taking the time to interview me.
Thank you for taking the time to do this interview with me today. What is your proudest professional moment?
Oh, I would say I have two. So I have sort of two jobs. One is as a college professor, and the other is, as you said, on television. As a college professor, I would say my proudest professional moment was very recent. I was given the title of Maya Angelou Professor, and Maya Angelou was my college mentor. She was the person who really taught me, not only in the classroom, but really taught me a lot about how to live and how to be a good person. And so she passed away just over a year ago, almost 2 years ago now, and she herself was a wonderful professor, and so they named the position, my title, after her. And so that was a very proud moment for me to get to have her title with me. In the television world, I would say one of my proudest moments, maybe not the most fun, but one of my proudest moments, is that our show, when we were on, was one of the first shows to ever say the name Trayvon Martin on national news. And Trayvon Martin was a young boy who was killed, and then his death ended up sparking a social movement. And I was proud that we were one of the first people who paid attention to this young man who had been killed.
Yes. Those are very proud moments.
Thank you.
And to my understanding, you also interviewed Maya Angelou.
I did, that's right. So before she passed away, I had this opportunity to interview her, which was incredible for me because I had been her student for so long, and I'd always sort of learned from her. And in this moment, I got to ask her questions, and I especially got to ask her about how she thought our country was going and if we were doing well. And she was talking about how cruel we were to one another, how mean-spirited we could be to each other, and how important it was for us to develop ways to be less mean-spirited to each other.
That is very important.
Yeah, critical, yeah.
What is the most valuable lesson you have learned through your career?
Well, so let's go back to Maya Angelou one more time. She used to say to us all the time, courage is the most important virtue because without courage, you cannot practice any other virtue consistently. So you can be kind, but you can't be consistently kind unless you're also courageous. You can be honest, but you can't be consistently honest unless you're also courageous. So courage allows us to do scary things. It allows us to walk into places that where we might be at risk. But if we're courageous and we know this is the right thing to do, this is the honest thing to do, this is the kind thing to do, then courage can help us to do those things consistently.
Courage can help you a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who are your role models?
I have many role models. Some are very close in my own household. So my husband is a role model to me because he's a great parent, he's a great father. He's also really good at his job. He's a civil rights lawyer, and so I look up to him in the way that he does his work. My mother is a role model to me. My mother raised us as children mostly on her own, working very hard, and so she became a role model of hard work. There are people who are role models to me who I've never even met. So Ida B. Wells is a role model to me, and she lived, 100 years ago, but she was also very courageous, and she was somebody who used the power of the media to try to create justice and equality.
Yes, those are very important role models.
Yep.
What is something hardly anyone knows about you?
Well, I don't know. I think maybe I love to garden. So when we moved to North Carolina recently, we bought a house that has a really big yard. And I basically will spend sometimes 8 hours actually sometimes 12 or 14 hours
Oh.
out in my garden, and I like to do it all myself. I like to pull all the weeds myself. I move the rocks around by myself. I really, as soon as the weather gets warm until it's too cold to go outside again, I spend as much time as I can out in my
That
garden.
is tons of hours.
It's a lot of hours gardening.
You probably broke the record for most gardening.
Yeah, I think it is. Sometimes my husband will just say, you know, you're not actually a farmer, Melissa, but
Yeah.
I will feel like it because I'm out there all day.
Yeah. What do you enjoy doing when you aren't working?
So I like to jog or run. I like to spend time with my daughters. I have a 14-year-old daughter and I have a 2-year-old daughter. And I like to spend time with both of them doing whatever they want to do. They do very different things at 14 and at 2. I love to read, although I read a lot for work. I sometimes try to read just for fun as well. And I have to say that I love to travel. So anytime I get a chance, especially to go out of the country to a place I've never been before, I love that.
Yes. Do you also like gardening in your free time?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I always end my interviews with asking the question, what is your favorite meal and dessert?
Oh, well, my favorite meal might actually be dessert, but my husband is from New Orleans and he is a very good cook. So I would say that my favorite meal is the food that my husband makes, especially at Thanksgiving and at Christmas. He makes gumbo, and it's seafood gumbo, and it is so good. I also really love when he makes crawfish, and so either crawfish or gumbo that my husband makes are my favorite meals. And then for dessert, I'm really the baker. So my husband is the person who does most of the cooking, but I love to do the baking. And I make a pretty mean red velvet cake.
Oh.
So I would have to say that my own red velvet cake is probably my favorite dessert.
Yes. It sounds delicious.
It is, it's pretty good.
Thank you for your time, Ms. Harris Perry. I enjoyed your answers and you're a very great inspiration.
Thank you. You're an inspiration to me.
You're an inspiration to me.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.